Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 118 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition. It is the 1st of March. That means winter is soon going to be in the rearview mirror and we're going to get some better weather. However, that isn't going to help me today. I've got electrical components in my hand and no possible good can come from that. So if you want to see what kind of mess I got myself into over the last couple of days, all you have to do is stay tuned. Yes, I am in over my head again. Electrical is just not my forte. Electrical is one of those things that I get other people to do. But this is pretty straightforward, so I was hoping that I would be able to do this on my own. Now, why am I holding the switch in my hand instead of mounted on the saw where it should be? Well, that's a little bit of a long story. I had always planned to move this switch, and this switch was installed right here, something like that. And it had always been my intention to move it over to the left side like more modern table saws have. This is a unisaw, I would say about mid-90s vintage. And there is that hole in the rail here that, there it is, that you can thread pipe fittings into, and that would in turn hold the box up. So I think at one time they all came with the switch on the right side, but I don't like that. I'm going to move it. And how this all got started, I had no plans of doing that this week. But I was going to, and I maybe will sweep the camera around my shop just to show you what I'm up against. It's a disaster in here, but by next Tuesday it'll be good to teach it. I wanted to rip some strips for the countertop that I'm building for my OSB counter build that you've been watching, I hope. And I thought, boy, I haven't cleaned the cabinet out for a while. It's probably quite full of dust. Well, it was full. So I'm trying to get things out, and these cords for the motor are always getting in the way, and they were down low enough that they were blocking the discharge chute. So I thought, well, that's not good. So I cleaned everything out. I'm lying in sawdust here. It was a stinking mess that day. And I thought, you know what? I can't put it off anymore. This looks relatively simple. I'm going to be in Saskatoon on Thursday. All I need to do is pick up a couple of these, and yeah, I was wrong. So it's a little more complicated than that, and but I am going to do it. So what will probably happen with this content, this will be a two-parter, because today I'm going to show you what I took apart, and then the next time when I do the follow-up, which hopefully is within the next week, I'm going to show you how I moved this over and how much work that took. To me, it looks fairly simple, but it's not quite as simple as I thought. So, the problem. First of all, this switch I think is really quite good. It works well. It's a magnetic start, which you need for this, and it's rated for 5 horsepower. Perfect. So, what the previous owner or owners or whatever had done is they had used this piece. It went in there like that, and it's screwed into right there. But they kept it tight to the bottom of the fence rail, and that caused many problems. Look how close that clearance is where the fence is sliding along the rail. And then, like, it worked and everything. That wasn't so bad. But then you were adjusting the fence, and you'd put your hand on the rail, and you'd slide it along, and you'd bang your fingers, or the back of your hand, I guess, into this thing all the time, and that can be a little bit painful. I didn't like that. Plus, after running saw-stop saws at the school for 15 years, their switches are always on the left side, which I think all table saw switches should be. And I was used to that. So I actually hated this. So I thought, well, okay, someday I'm going to change it. And the day just came sooner than I expected. So my plan is to, oh, by the way, so they had this screwed into, where is it? Right here on this side. And then they had jury rigged some kind of weird thing and put a spacer in, drilled a little hole, and then put a wood screw up to hold the box to keep it from rotating. And I thought that was weird. So I ended up having to take my Sawzall and cut that out because I couldn't get at it any other way. I couldn't get the switch apart. Well, okay, I'm not an electrician, so that's probably why that happened. But anyway, what I did is I cut that off and pulled the box off so that I could get a look at it. And here there are some things that are a little different than what I expected. So basically, oh, that's hard on the feet doing this. Basically, I think what the plan is right now, and this is my first plan, but this is something I will spend some time thinking about between now and when we go to Saskatoon next time, to figure out what exactly what how I'm going to do this. So I think what I'm going to do is put two pieces like this in here. See if I can do this quickly. It may not matter. Anyway, so you've got two like this, and then I think I'm going to cut a metal plate and put it across, drill two holes in it, put this through, mount them solidly onto that metal plate, and then run something like this up from the middle of that and drill and tap holes in the rail over here and screw it all together and put it all in. I think that's the way this is going to go. But when I film the next part to this series, I'll have it figured out then, and you'll see what I decided to do. There is a lot of electrical cable here, and I haven't released this one yet. Can I get in there? Oh man, that stuff is all okay. Okay, we're not going to bother with that. But there's a lot of cable here. It looks to be like about a 2-inch hole in the saw here. And I think I'm going to move that over here. We're just going to balance it, move it across. But I have to check to see if it's going to interfere with the tilting hand wheel or the elevating hand wheel. So that I'll make sure of before. But right now, I think I'm going to take this ring, cut a hole this size over here, put this ring in it, and then I think I'm going to patch this. Now, whether I just take the cutout from here and tack it in here with the MIG, weld it in, sand it off, touch it up a little bit with filler if I have to, and then try to match the paint to it, I may do that, I'm not sure. It looks like somebody's had something screwed on here in the past, so I'm not sure. But, so that's kind of what I'm thinking of doing. And as far as rewiring this goes, I know how poor a wiring person I am. And luckily, I always have my neighbor who knows everything. But I color-coded. I just put some paint marker on where the wire, I put paint marker on the wire, and then where it goes on to the corresponding connection in the box. So I think that's going to make my table saw a lot easier to use. Getting this cable off the bottom of there's a slanted bottom of this saw that slides up to a dust collection port, which is something that I'm also going to try to do in March or April. So hopefully I can get this all done. But again, I'm starting too many projects at a time. So I think what I'm going to do is, I think I've kind of shown you everything that I'm going to do. And I've got to stand up. My feet are sore. So we'll come back in a bit. Well, there you have it. I had hoped to get this finished today to do the install and everything. But this turned out to be a little different than what I expected to find. And that's a common problem when you're looking at making changes. And especially for rural people like myself, you don't have access to parts just down the street. So it's always a matter of driving 40 minutes to get to a more major center where you can buy the parts you need, and hopefully they have them. We're finding that even in the smaller cities, you end up ordering a lot of things because the specialty stores aren't there for you. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Yeah, we're going to get this done. I'm going to really like having that. I've made the comment on this channel before that I have a working shop. I fix my own tools a lot of times. I'm running my own dust collection. I do everything in here. Plus, I build some projects. We've got students in here, and this is a working shop. And I always talk about the difference between a working shop and a studio shop. Well, today I'm going to give you a little bit of a view of a working shop. This place is a disaster, and you may as well see what it's really like. So I'm just going to go to the camera here, and we're just going to move it a little bit. And we're going to kind of pan around here a little bit. There we go. We'll start at the drill press. So this part isn't as bad, and the camera's pretty good at fooling you too. There's 4 sheets of OSB, 2 of 5/8 and 2 of 3/8 to finish drawers on my OSB cabinet. Soon, the star of this channel, my garden tractor, will go to the other building. I don't need to heat that. Yeah, the table saw is a mess. Those boards sitting on the bandsaw are boards that I'm going to cut into strips for a countertop for my OSB cabinet. So I don't know if you can see them. There's 2 bandsaws there. Well, there's 2 lathes in the view. My edge sander, some paint storage, all kinds of stuff here. And some of the stuff, like there's a protective screen by my lathe, so when we do classes in here, like turning classes, we are, I don't know if being legal is that important, but we are taking steps to make sure that people are protected when they take classes here. So my thickness planer and thickness sander, and another project that I'm going to do is I'm going to take those wheels off my thickness planer. I hate those things. We're going to get rid of those yet. Okay, now we're getting into the place where you can't walk anymore. Okay, down here, can I get my hand in where? There we are. Okay, see those boards there? Okay, those are boards that might get used with students coming this next week. Last week, we had a number of, in fact, one whole group, they were away. So we canceled the Wednesday class, and they'll be back this Wednesday, but they haven't rough cut wood for projects yet. And my bathroom, oh, by the way, that OSB cabinet is behind the spindle sander right back there. Air compressor, dust collector, and there is a project coming probably next winter. I have to get the noise down from those 2 machines. So, and we're coming around, we're just whizzing over my jointer, you can't see that, and we're back at the drill press. So, hopefully, you kind of got a glimpse of my shop and basically what it's like. But I guarantee you, by Tuesday, it'll be organized, plenty good enough to teach kids. So, okay, we're going to do something a little strange here. I'm just going to wing it here and kind of step into the view here to close this video off. I hope I got this right. Anyway, I don't do this enough, but if you've been watching, thank you for watching. If you do watch, please subscribe, write a comment. I love hearing from you. I've got a few issues with comments yet, not you writing them, but me going through them. So yeah, that's something else to talk about. But also remember, we're slowly approaching the 500 subscriber mark. So at 500 subscribers, Frosty will go. So if you want Frosty, remember just to say, hey, I want Frosty. And even if you do it in this video, I'll see it and I'll add your name to the list. So anyway, have a great rest of the weekend. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next video.